Hello, and thank you for watching the video. So today we are going to take a closer look at the preamble of the Constitution of the United States. Now the preamble is kind of like an introductory paragraph to the Constitution. So you all have written essays in the past, and in your essay you always write an introductory paragraph to tell the reader kind of what they're going to be reading about in the essay. That's the same thing with the preamble. It's an introduction to what the entire Constitution is going to be about. Now, on your Edmodo post, I have attached this document for you to print out. So you'll need to have it printed out in order to complete this little mini lesson. If you haven't printed it out yet, please just pause the video and print it out. So what we're going to do is first, I'm just going to read it to you so we can kind of get a feel for it, and then we're going to reread it and really dive into the meaning of some of these words, okay? So just sit back and take a listen as I read it. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Okay, so upon first reading, that's some pretty heavy language where you probably didn't get a lot of meaning from it. So this is one of those documents where we really have to look closer and think about the words that are used and try to get some meaning from it. So let's begin. Let's look at this first sentence. We, the people of the United States. Now, in this first sentence, we already have so much meaning. So this is basically saying that the people of the United States, or what is about to be the United States, are going to run this country. So, as you remember, at this point, the colonies are being run by the king and queen of the of England, and this, within this first just little partial sentence, is establishing that there's going to be no king ruling these colonies. So the people are going to be in charge, not a monarch. So just so you know, as I am going through this, you should also be taking these notes that I'm putting down. And go ahead and add any other notes that you might want to add. So we have that the people are in charge and not a monarch. So the people are going to decide how this country is run. So in order to form a more perfect union. So now they're establishing that all of these little colonies, at this point in the country, there are 13 little colonies that are kind of working on their own. But with this document, they're going to establish that the colonies are going to unite and work together as one country. So, and the colonies are just an early way of saying state. The colonies that they had back in the day are now states. So, union is referring to a union of all the colonies to work together as one unit. So, with this document, they also want to establish justice. That means they want to establish a legal system, so how people will be punished for crimes and stuff like that. So legal system and how crimes are punished, that's going to be established in this document. With this document, they also want to ensure domestic tranquility. Now, domestic tranquility means peace, basically. So this is a little peace sign. I don't know if you've seen this before, probably. As you'll remember, at this point in time, there is a lot of conflict and a lot of war happening. There's a revolution happening, and the people of the colonies really don't want this anymore. They want a peaceful life. So with this document, they're establishing that they really want a peaceful country and a peaceful existence. With this document, they also want to provide for the common defense. Now, common defense means military. At this point, they have that kind of ragtag military that we've been seeing. They really want to get a better military system together for future conflicts and just for the overall protection of their people. They also want to promote the general welfare and secure the blessing of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now, what all this is referring to are those natural laws that we've been learning about, which, as you'll remember, are the laws of life, liberty, and the right to own property. So go ahead and write those down. Life, liberty, property. So, at this point in the document, or in this little introductory paragraph, they're saying that with this document, they want to establish that the people are in charge, not a monarch. They want to establish a union of all the colonies. So they want the little colonies to start working together as a country. They want to put down the rules of the legal system and kind of tell how that's going to work. They want to ensure that there's going to be peace in their country. They want to talk a little bit about how their military is going to run, and they want to definitely make sure that these natural laws are being protected, the laws of life, liberty, and the right to own property. And then we finish off with, do ordain and establish the Constitution for the United States of America. And what this is basically doing is making it official. So this statement is basically saying that with this document, all of this stuff, it's going to be official. This isn't just stuff we're talking about anymore. This is the real deal, and this document makes it all legal. So with that, now that you know a little bit more about this preamble and what we're going to be talking about in the Constitution, I want you to flip your paper over, and in one sentence, I want you to write your meaning of the preamble. So I want you to use modern day English, something that we all use in our everyday life, and just in one sentence, give me the meat of this preamble. What does it mean? Rewrite it in one sentence on the back of this paper, and then you are done with this assignment. Thank you very much.